Coming up this Friday, April 3rd, we're going to see a highly touted young talent that a lot of people are not currently aware of at the present moment. It's going to be a fighter on Matchroom, Dazn. We're talking about Pat Brown, an early cruiserweight division campaigning fighter who happens to be someone that bears watching. Now, I'm going to tell you something. In the meantime, while they talk about the likes of Moses Atuma, Pat Brown, who's had a quite successful amateur career himself, is flying under the radar. But it's time for people to start to take note of this man, because I think that we may be looking at someone who could be special, but it all is contingent upon how Matchroom moves him. And we know that Matchroom sometimes has fumbled not only the bag, but the ball. Let's talk about Pat Brown and his fight coming up this Friday, April 3rd. If there's one thing that could be said about Ed Hearn and Matchroom Boxing, is he can get his hand on talent, but can he cultivate it? Can he match the so-called subject appropriately? Well, this Friday, April 3rd, you're going to get a chance to see another one of Hearn's Men in Progress. It's a project underway in the cruiserweight division where Pat Brown, former standout amateur from the UK, is going to be entering with his sixth professional fight, an Ibf Intercontinental Cruiserweight title, which is vacant, taking on Vasil Ducar. You see, I've seen Brown a couple of times already. He's 26 years of age, an orthodox fighter that stands 6'3", and he appears to me to be one of the most naturally strong punching fighters at the cruiserweight division. The first time I saw Brown, I'm like, okay, they've got this guy in. He's severely overmatched against the opponent that's the opposite of him. But when I saw him the second time, I'm like, oh, no, that's not what that is. He is someone that is a little bit ahead of the game. The fight that I speak of was in September of 2025 when he took on Austin Endami, where he stopped that gentleman with a very strong performance. It was a second round stoppage where I saw Brown not only apply pressure, but he was strong. We haven't seen a cruiserweight like this in a little bit. He may be a little stronger, even at this juncture, than Jai Opataya. I'm not saying he's more skillful than Jai. I'm not saying presently he can defeat Jai. But if this fighter is managed correctly, the UK may forget all about Moses Atuma, because the size that he has, he could easily be a heavyweight within a couple of years. Easily. Now, Hearn has him headlining a card this Friday, April 3rd, as I stated. And this is going to be an opportunity for him to be showcased because he is the headliner. We're talking about an event that's going to take place in the UK, Planet Ice, at Altrincham, Cheshire. Ed Hearn and Matchroom Boxing is promoting this fight. The combatants will enter the ring roughly 2 o'clock Central Time, stateside. Now, Vasil Ducar is a fighter who has been in against quality opposition in the past. One of his most noteworthy battles was a fight that he had in September of 2023 when he took on Siobhan Clark, who at that time was a young prospect / contender on his way up in the cruiserweight division. Now, in that fight, we got a chance to see him survive against the more athletic and speedier Siobhan Clark. Now, Clark didn't bowl through him. Ducar lost a unanimous decision in that fight, but the Czechoslovakian fighter was able to more than hold his own and wasn't walked over. He's a plotter. He's very strong, and he presents a very strong presence in the ring. He's fluid. He's an orthodox fighter, and Ducar stands 6'3" himself. But this is the key in this fight against Pat Brown. Ducar is 36 years of age. His present record, which finds him 19 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws with 14 KOs, we're going to have to find out exactly how much he wants to compete. Is he just showing up for a payday, or is he looking to get something done? But again, he's been in with some big men himself. In August of 2022, he lost a unanimous decision to Jordan Thompson, a 6'6" cruiserweight at that time, who has since now moved up to heavyweight and will be having his heavyweight debut in a matter of weeks. But the decision lost to the likes of Mike Perez in March of 2022, Chris Billum Smith in March of 2021, and even going back to Kevin Lorena back in June of 2019. You see, these fights that he's been losing have been pretty much decision losses. The Perez fight from 2022 saw him retire after the 10th round. I believe I saw that fight, and Perez kind of put a beating on him, and he just couldn't come out for the final 2 rounds. If Pat Brown is able to get rid of Vasil Ducar, we're looking at something. And it's not just because of Ducar's age. We're talking about the overall ability and presence of the likes of Brown. At first glance, he looks straight up basic, no special effects. But the strength and presence that he presents as he moves in against his opponents is very formidable. He's like a wave that just keeps coming from the ocean, with opponents soon to be swept out to sea. I've often spoke about recognizing specific talents when they're on display, and I don't hesitate to throw the support behind when I recognize someone may have something there. I remember saying something quite similar about Diego Pacheco a couple of years ago. I've often stated recently that I'm not as high on Moses Atoma as some of these other people are, and that some of the praise and the attention that he's been given should be going to Fabio Wardley. But that's okay. Pat Brown is batting cleanup, and though he's at the cruiserweight division, like I said, within a couple of years he'll be at the heavyweight division. And though he's older than Atoma at 26, just think about the possibilities down the line, because they're touting Atoma as the next best thing. But there's a great chance that these two can cross paths. And then you'll have to remember when Stormy B-Man mentioned the name Pat Brown. You see, you don't often have to look far for talent in the sport of boxing. You just have to be able to identify talent in the sport of boxing. First and foremost, don't just take what they tell you, the announcers and the so-called sexperts. You need to take a look at what one's skill set is, the character that they're displaying, the type of temperament that they bring to the ring, and professionalism. That will always take a fighter far when you have high marks in those areas. Pat Brown is someone to keep an eye out for. And this Friday on Dazn, his talents will be on display once again. We're talking about a man that is going into his 6th professional fight. He's 5-0 with 5 KOs. When he boxed in amateurs, his amateur record was 19-4 with 4 KOs. But guess what? He got stronger as a pro. After his loss in July of 2024, he decided to turn pro. That was in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Hearn would be wise to move this man smartly, but not take a long time, but give him the type of opponents that will allow him to show talents other than just strength and power, but to be able to cut the ring off, go the distance, box his way through circumstances. Because I've already believed that he's strong enough to just get rid of men. And he presents a picture of an older guy with the beard and all, but he is a solid fighter. I hope that you tune in and give me your thoughts on Pat Brown. Because, again, you don't want to miss the train. As I talk about the young fighters when they come along, I notice that some people, they don't get on board right away, but this is one to pay attention to. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about Pat Brown. And do you see him moving quickly in the cruiserweight division? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.